Everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to go over version 16.1. I didn't notice a new opening screen, so there's no reason to take it. So let's just get straight into the details of the update. First things first is you can now watch a commercial to get some more box space. How you can do that? Go to the shop icon that has that pretty orb. Scroll down to the box expansion item, and you will now see this new green button on the bottom. What this is like I said, click it. It will ask you, hey, do you want to watch a short video so that you can get one extra box space? Now you can do this twice a day. The first session takes place from 4 a.m. to 3:59 p.m. Japan time, and then the second session is 4 p.m. to 3:59 a.m. Japan time. So there's 12-hour blocks where you can do this once each time, which gives you a total of 2 chances per day. If you miss that first session, you cannot carry it over, so make sure you do properly watch it. And I'm not going to subject you to the CM, so you click the left button to watch it. And okay, so I didn't have to subject you to this commercial here, but now once it's done, and make sure you do have to go through the 30 seconds to finish it. Once you do that, then you will get credited for watching it, and like it says, you'll get one single box space expanded in your box. And so now for those of you out there who, you like that even number of 5 or 0, this could be a little annoying for you, but you get to do it once every 12 hours essentially. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting proposition that they've added, and you can see that there's a countdown here until the next time you can unlock it, which is the next 12-hour span. I mean, at least you are doing it, right? Like, it's not forced upon you, but I still feel uncomfortable about that. But anyways, whatever. In addition to account for this new update, you can now have a max box size space of 5,700. I believe it was around 52 or 5,300 below before. Next, there is a Monspot update. For those of you who are in Japan, this only applies to you because this does not take place outside of Japan. But there's now an auto collect option. You can see that this red off button can now be toggled to on. And basically, if you have to be on the screen, of course, but if you're walking around and you get next to a Monspot, you no longer have to tap it, launch the ball at the spot to get the items. It will just automatically pop for you. Again, you have to actually have it open. You can't just be like playing the game walking around. That's not how it works. But yeah, it's a convenient update for those of you who are in Japan. In addition, if you are a Monpass owner and you have not used your own MySpot location, which allows you to put a place anywhere where you are, and this actually does include foreign users, so if you have Monpass, make sure you do take advantage of that, because you can get one special item that nobody else would be able to do. And you'll just see this red icon, that Monspot icon show up right there. That's the indication for you that you have not used your MySpot location, and it changes every day, so you might as well take advantage of it. You're paying money for this opportunity. Don't miss it. And for those of you who are not in JP like myself, nothing we can do. But this is a pretty nice update, so at least I do that for those of you who are shelling the extra money for Monpass. Alright, number 3, there's a new sort by option. You can now sort by the Gauge-ATK value. How that works is you can go here, go to the right, tab, and you can see now there is an arrow here for the attack sorting. Without clicking the option, it'll sort your monsters from attack order highest to lowest, but this is only their natural level if you don't hit their gauge. Now you have the option to see what that looks like with the gauge hit at its max level. Remember, depending on where you hit the gauge, you get a slightly different multiplier out of it, but this is of course assuming you hit the maximum gauge. And you can see Odin all of a sudden pops up into the top 5 in the second slot, Kamail in the 3rd, and Bedivere on the 4th slot. Whereas if we looked at, before, we had Glover, Mu Alpha, and well, I guess they were able to leapfrog those two with their gauge values. So, I mean, if you want to see what that one punch line, like if you've done the calculation, see, oh, I need this much attack, then you can see, okay, well, as long as I hit the gauge, that's good enough. Or, you know, you're good already, you know you're going to hit the gauge, so give me the best monsters out there when I hit the gauge. Odin and Kamael, of course, get a little more boost out of that. So, small update, but pretty nice. Number 4, fusing now excludes maxed luck monsters, and this might be a little hard to show, but I don't know if I have any 90 luck monsters that I can take advantage of this, but basically what this is when you use that checkbox to fuse monsters of similar types, it automatically excluded max luck monsters before, but it didn't exclude monsters that were at their star level max luck. So 5-star monsters are maxed out at 75, which give you that 15 bonus, so they look like they have 90. 4 stars max out at like 50 something, right? And of course there's those special ones that max out at 1. If you happen to have multiples of those, how this will now work is that it will just simply not automatically check those. Actually, maybe this will work. You know, it will not try to check mark those that have the maxed lucks, like this 5-star Nezuko that I have, right? I mean, of course I have it locked at this point, so it might be difficult to understand, but they're just trying to prevent you from accidentally feeding a lower star monster into another one if you have maxed them for a certain reason. Of course, you can always manually do it. It's just when you take advantage of the auto check mark here that it'll save you from making a mistake. Number 5, the Sacred Beasts get a small update. The 3rd gen of Sacred Beasts now allow you to use Miracle Mins and Fuero Biscuits on them. Did I say that? Yeah, anyways. And if you don't know what that is, you know, that's this option here, the red dome here, all 4 of those stages to grab, and then once you clear them all, you can do the 5th one here. Each one of them, you can now start using Miracle Mins in case you die, or Fuero Biscuits to help you max luck those monsters a little bit faster. So for those of you who do care about this, clearly I do not, that is now an option for you. Number 6, there are a few level requirement updates for different events in Monster Strike. The Temple is lowered from 50 to 40 to start playing, and the library is lowered from 70 to 20 to start taking advantage of. Probably in response to maybe like people taking advantage of collabs where they tend to throw them in the library, or those, you know, library quests to help them get up to speed with, you know, fairly easy quests at their own leisure. The other interesting update is that the Sacred Beast stages now require 5 max lux to start. There was no requirement before, so this is actually raising the bar a little bit. But again, given how difficult those quests are, that's certainly not a bad thing to help deter you know, new users from accidentally taking on these quests, which are basically impossible to do at the very beginning. So interesting update for sure. Number 7, some old missions will be retired. I'm sure most of you have already completed them if you played this game for any significant amount of time, but there was a purchase a helper item, use a helper item, and set a 5-star or less monster in your friends list. Those, I believe, have already gone away given how the news is worded. So if you haven't done it, sorry, they're gone, but I do not think they are available anymore. Alright, and that is basically it for 16.1. It's a short update. Again, it's a .1 update, so you shouldn't expect too much, but well, there's a few cool things in there, especially with the okay, cool, I don't know what, with the CM update to get, at least you're getting a small flow of extra box space, I guess, but having to watch an ad for another game in there is, I don't know. But before we leave, I do want to make sure everybody's aware that a new Guardians exclusive Geki Jushinsai character has been added. It is Fujin and Raijin. Fujin in the pictures here, she has that blue hair with one horn on her. Sorry, one horn. And Raijin is the one with the white hair with 2 horns on her. So if you want to remember who is who, that is that. And you can actually kind of tell, well, if you know the lore a little bit, you know that the taiko that the Raijin has is very, synonymous with the lightning bolts, lightning thunder strikes that, goes with her name. So you see that she is holding it on her Evo form there on top. Evo form? I forget. Is it actually in the... I don't think it's in the database yet, but... Oh, it is in the database. Okay, let's shoehorn that in. Yeah, so... Let's just go over it real quick. The Evo form here, null damage roll, super null warp, pierce type, and again, this is a blast. So you can see that her bump combo of Involute Sphere is gonna be great. We'll see how broken she ends up being. Of course, damage roll null warp is super null warp, sorry, is not a unique combo, but certainly given her blast bump combo and pierce, which makes it much more easier to hit, becomes an interesting skill set for sure. Strike shot is Fujin and Raijin will basically move around on the stage, so I think like how Athena works with her shield, or Jekyll and Hyde, just two entities moving around on the stage. Now, since this is a limited monster, the multipliers for that is probably ridiculous, but we'll have to see how that looks later. And then the Ascended form here, we've got Super Minesweeper M with null speed down wall, and the Gauge has both a light and dark slayer on it, which is I always like monsters that have, when they're a fire, water, wood type, and they have that, off color slayers. So it's interesting. Of course, you don't really get to see it utilized too much, but it's always good to see, I think. Strike shot, speed up and power up, and it basically just goes through the walls, kind of like Himiko strike shot is, right? In terms of passing through the walls, there's no chain meter associated with this, but just getting that extra attack, as a slayer, pretty darn good. The bump combo, I think both of these are new. We've got a super expanding shockwave blast, and it's a lock-on too, actually. So lock-on shockwave, super expanding, lock-on, piercing shockwave. Oof, that's a lot of parts. And the other one is an all-enemy lightning attack. So just lightning blast on all enemies on the stage, and that's a pretty good amount of damage it has too. So interesting to see the skill set. I'm glad I have a bunch of orbs left over. I will be pulling semi-aggressively, I think, for Fujin Raijin. So can't wait for that. And meanwhile, do make sure to take advantage of the campaign. I have a link to the campaign page, if I don't forget, in the comments below. So please do make sure to take advantage of it, because you can get some special items. Basically how that works is when you click that link, you should be taken to this page. Click that box on the left. That will automatically move you to this side where it's like, alright, let's do the campaign. And there's an Omikuji event. Basically, you shake up a little canister, you get a little stick out of it, it tells you what number to go, and then you get your fortune. We're basically simulating that here. You can do this from March 5th all the way up until March 10th, 3:59 a.m. So I think that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I think that's a total of 5 times. And basically what you need to do is first link your X-Flag account to this page. That makes sure that whatever you pull on the website actually goes into your box afterwards. And the rewards here are pretty nice. You got the Kyo on the bottom right, which is the worst. You get a Continuum Suekichi, which gives you a Stamina Can. Shokichi, which gives you a Divine Sharl. Chukichi, which gives you a Insta Ascend Sharl. You got a Kichi, which gives you a Wakuwakumin. And a Daikichi, which gives you a Tokudama for the Guardians new gacha, which features Fujin Raijin. So of course Daikichi is what you want to have, and how this works is when you click that stage, there should be that gold button. Once you link your account, you should be able to click that to go, and you'll be presented with Fujin Raijin's the gates of Fujin Raijin, and then it'll open up and you get your reward, and woo, for me, I actually got the Daikichi reward, which is a tokodama. Once you get that, make sure you scroll down, because if you leave this page, you will not be able to get it again. You have to share your results on one of these SNS platforms. You got Facebook, Twitter, or Line. Once you do share it that way, then it gives you the opportunity to pull one more time for that day. You get to pull it again, and you get your second result for the day, which I got the Suekichi, which is just a stamina can. And that's it. Do that every day for 5 days. You can get a total of 10 items. If you are super lucky, you'll get 10 tokudamas. Probably the chances of that are not that high. But this is an opportunity to get free items, so please do not miss out on it. And of course, as usual, they do refresh their dates at 4 a.m. Japan time. And that is it. So before we leave, for those of you who are in the US or those countries who observe daylight savings, do not forget, or at least for the US, that daylight savings does take place on Sunday morning 2 a.m. So we spring forward by 1 hour. Now Japan, they're a country that understands that daylight savings is complete garbage, so they don't do that. So Japan stays the same, but the US jumps 1 hour forward. So what that means is everything is going to seem like it takes place 1 hour later than usual. So do keep that in mind when the daily reset happens, when Monster Strike News happens, when when you have certain time set. Now most things in game do adjust for your time differences, right? But also do keep in mind that since you're going forward an hour when Japan doesn't, you are actually losing everything that takes place within that hour according to Japan time, right? You've just warped in time by 1 hour. So be very careful about what happens between 2 a.m., 3 a.m., or once it's, because it just warps ahead. You may lose some valuable farming time if you're up that late. If you're sleeping, that doesn't matter. You just lost an hour of sleep, which also sucks. But please do not forget about daylight savings if you have to deal with it. Alright, that's it for me today. Let me know if you have any questions. I didn't think it would be this long given how short the news was, but had a bunch of stuff to talk about anyway, so questions are available. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and of course, thank you as always for watching. I really do appreciate it. So until next time, bye bye.